Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 70.
So let's start with that first standoff. Zhang He, he's the careful one, makes the first big play. He sends out 30,000 troops, sets up 3 camps, Dengku, Mengtu, Dangxi, near the mountains. Very strategic spots. And half those troops, they're off attacking Bazi, the rest are digging in.
Yeah, what's fascinating right off the bat is Zhang He's methodical style. Fortified positions, an offensive wing. It's calculated, kind of contrasts with Zhang Fei's reputation for just charging in, right? But then Zhang Fei immediately shows his strategic side. He gets Lai Tong involved for a pincer move, planning to hit them from 2 sides.
Right, he's not just relying on brute force. And that first clash tells you a lot. Zhang Fei challenges Zhang He. They go at it maybe 20 rounds or so.
Right.
And then Zhang He pulls back. But why? It wasn't just Zhang Fei. His scouts saw Lai Tong's flags popping up behind them. They thought an ambush was coming.
Exactly. And that perception, that threat is so powerful. It wasn't a real ambush yet, but the idea of it, that psychological edge forced Zhang his hand early on. It also shows he's cautious, maybe a bit risk-averse with his main force.
And the follow-up, it worked perfectly. Lai Tong's troops show up for real this time. They hit Zhang. He forces hard, beat them, chase them all the way back to Dangku Mountain. But even after that win, things kind of stalled. A stalemate? Zhang, he retreats into his 3 mountain camps, barricades them with logs, stones, everything. And for over 50 days, nothing. He just refuses to fight. Imagine Zhang Fei shouting insults every day, Lai Tong joining in. And Zhang, he just ignores it.
And that refusal, that strategy too. Zhang, his patience, his strong defense, it frustrated Zhang Fei. It neutralized his usual aggressive tactics. It really forces Zhang Fei to, well, get creative, which sets up his next, rather famous move.
Okay, yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. Zhang Fei does something totally unexpected. He sets up his own big camp, maybe 3 miles or so from Dangku. And then every day he pretends to get completely wasted. That's outside, drunk, yelling insults at Zhang He, just pure provocation theater.
You gotta wonder, right? Is he actually falling apart, or is this something else? It's classic misdirection. He's building a false story, using his own, wild reputation against his enemy, turning a supposed weakness into a weapon.
It was so convincing, it even had Liu Bei worried. His own sworn brother. He hears reports about Zhang Fei drinking constantly, thinks maybe he's gone too far, and goes to consult Zhuje Liang Kongming.
Kongming. And his reaction is perfect. He just laughs. He gets it instantly. He knows Zhang Fei. He sees the ruse. He reminds Liu Bei, remember when Zhang Fei captured Yanyan? That seemed crazy too, but it worked. It was strategy, not just recklessness. Kongming sees the pattern.
And Kongming doesn't just okay the plan, he adds to it. Liu Bei is still a bit nervous, suggests sending Wei Yan to help out. Kongming says sure, but then sends Wei Yan with 50 jars of fine wine for public use. He's pouring fuel on the fire of this deception.
That's brilliant, isn't it? He's actively participating, making the drunken mess look even more real to Zhang. He spies. It's about controlling the narrative, making the lie totally believable. Masterful psychological warfare.
So Zhang Fei puts on a show, drinks out in the open, puts the wine jars where everyone can see them, even has soldiers stage silly wrestling matches, all perfectly visible to Zhang. He spies.
And this whole performance, it's aimed right at Zhang. He's pride. Zhang, he sees us and feels insulted. He bullies me too much, he apparently says. That's the trigger Zhang Fei was waiting for. Poke the pride, make the careful general act rashly, using ego as the lever.
And boom, the trap is sprung. Zhang He, totally provoked, orders a night raid, tells his other camps, Mengtu and Danxi, to attack to support him. He expects to find Zhang Fei passed out. But, he charges in, finds a straw dummy in the tent. Then Zhang Fei appears, very much not drunk, fights him right there in the firelight, maybe 30, 50 rounds. And while that's happening, Wei Yan and Lai Tong ambush Zhang He's other camps, cut off his support.
So what's the takeaway here? Just incredible patience, right? 50 days of acting, plus brilliant misdirection, perfect timing, coordinated attacks. Zhang Fei lures him in completely. And the result, devastating for Zhang He. Loses maybe 20,000 men, 2/3 of his force, and has to run for Waiku Pass. Just a stunning victory based on deception.
An absolutely stunning victory. But, the game's not over. Zhang He, even after that huge loss, makes it to Waiku Pass. And he immediately asks Hanzhong for more troops. He's desperate.
Right, but Hanzhong refuses. And this tells you something about the command structure and the politics. Zhang He had apparently disobeyed orders earlier by pushing too far. So Hanzhong basically says, you made your bed, hold him accountable. Tough spot for Zhang He.
Yeah, under massive pressure. But Zhang, he is still cunning. He comes up with a new plan. in ambush. He pretends to lose a fight against Lei Tong, lures him into a narrow spot. Hidden soldiers pop out, cut off Lei Tong's escape, and tragically, Lei Tong is killed.
It shows Zhang, his resilience, doesn't it? Even on the back foot, he's still thinking tactically, still dangerous. But it's also a stark reminder of the stakes. One mistake, one miscalculation, even by someone like Lei Tong, and it's fatal. You can't let your guard down.
Definitely. And Lei Tong's death, it clearly shakes Zhang Fei, makes him more cautious. So when Zhang, he tries another fake retreat later, Zhang Fei sees it, he holds back, he knows it's a trap. Then he talks to Wei Yan, time to fight fire with fire, as they say, or use the enemy's trick against them, Zhenya.
And this is fascinating, watching Zhang Fei evolve. He learns from Lei Tong's death. He's not just reacting anymore, he's anticipating, using his own understanding of deception. Shows real growth as a strategist, not just a fighter.
So they cook up this counterplan. Zhang Fei leads the charge. Wei Yan follows with the best troops, and they bring like 10 carts filled with firewood, the plan. Block the narrow mountain path Zhang He will use for his ambush and set it on fire. Smoke him out, trap the ambushers, and they execute it perfectly. Zhang Fei engages Zhang He. Zhang He fakes defeat again, pulls back into the valley. Zhang Fei chases, but just as he springs his trap, Wei Yan lights up those carts, blocks the path, fills the valley with smoke. Hidden troops are useless. His ambush completely fails. He's beaten again badly, has to fight his way back to Hueco Pass and just defend.
Incredible turnaround. Zhang, he sets a trap. Zhang Fei sees it, sets a counter trap using the same terrain. It's like a chess match, and Zhang Fei just played a brilliant counter move, outthinking him completely.
Exactly. But Hueco Pass is strong. Zhang Fei and Wei Yan attack for days, but they can't break through. Another stalemate.
Right. And this poses that classic question again. Okay, the direct way isn't working. Now what? You need something else. Unconventional thinking. Intelligence. Right. Where do you find an edge?
And here's the next bit of genius. Zhang Fei and Wei Yan are out scouting themselves, just with a few dozen cavalry. They see these local people, men and women, carrying little bags, climbing up this hidden little mountain path. And Zhang Fei has this flash of insight. He tells Wei Yan, taking Hueco Pass. It depends on them, these ordinary folks. He approaches them gently, doesn't scare them, just asks what they're doing. Turns out they're locals from Hanzhong using this secret trail through Zibian Mountain to get around the main roads blocked by the armies.
This is such a key moment. Zhang Fei shifts gears completely. No more brute force, no more complex deception. It's about observation, diplomacy almost, paying attention to small details and seeing the potential value in local knowledge. He doesn't dismiss them. He listens.
And the villagers tell him, this tiny path goes right around and leads to the back of Hueco Pass. Zhang Fei is ecstatic. He's found the weak spot, the secret entrance.
Yeah, that's the aha moment, isn't it? It just shows how vital intelligence can be, especially from unlikely sources. You have this huge military problem, seems impossible, and the solution comes from noticing a few people climbing a hill. It's about being open to information, wherever it comes from.
So, the final assault. Zhang Fei sends Wei Yan to make a lot of noise attacking the front gate, a diversion. Meanwhile, Zhang Fei takes 500 light cavalry, guided by those same villagers, up the secret path. They attack the rear. Zhang Fei, he sees fires behind him inside the pass. He's completely shocked to see Zhang Fei there. It's total chaos. He has to abandon his horse, just flee on foot, gets away with maybe 10 guys. That's it. Total victory for Zhang Fei. So his situation now, it's beyond bad. He literally walks back to Nansheng to report to Cao Hong. Almost his entire army gone.
And the reaction from Cao Hong is immediate fury, threatens to execute him on the spot. It really shows the consequences of failure, especially linked to that earlier disobedience. No margin for error.
But then Guo Wai, the military advisor, steps in, makes a pragmatic argument, says, look, generals are hard to come by. Zhang, he is valuable to the big boss, Cao Cao. He suggests giving Zhang Ye one more chance, give him 5,000 troops, send him to attack Xiameng Pass. It's a strategic diversion intended to pull Liu Bei's forces away. If that fails, okay, punish him for everything.
It's an interesting leadership moment, right? Guo Huai is looking at the bigger picture. He's weighing past failure against potential future value. It's a calculated risk, banking on Zhang. He's experience, giving him a second chance for strategic reasons. A lesson in pragmatism, maybe.
At Xiameng Pass, the Wei General Zhang He, he's hitting Xiameng Pass hard. The first defender, Meng Da, he takes a big hit, a major defeat, which forces his colleague, Hu Jun, to send this urgent plea for help back to Liu Bei in Chengdu. It's serious.
And what's really fascinating here, and it's so typical of Zhu Jingling, is his approach. It's deliberate, calculated. When Liu Bei gets everyone together to figure out who should go deal with Zhang He, Zhuge Liang speaks up first, and he insists that only Zhang Fei, who's way over at Walong Pass, a really key spot,
Right.
only he is capable. He deliberately kind of downplays everyone else there, creates this vacuum of competence.
Like nobody else is good enough.
Exactly. It's a classic psychological move.
And this is where our first hero makes his entrance. Hanzhong, an old general. He hears this and he takes offense. Big time. He steps right up, demands to be sent. He basically says, military advisor, why are you dissing everyone? Maybe I'm not talented in your view, but I'll go cut off Zhang, his head of myself, and bring it back to you. He's not just volunteering, he's putting his honor on the line.
And Zhuge Liang, he just pushes it, almost like he's baiting him. He points out Hanzhong's age, nearly 70, publicly challenging this respected warrior. But Hanzhong's comeback, it's legendary, just pure confidence.
Yeah.
He fires back, yeah, I'm old, but these arms, they still draw a 3-stone bow easy. My body, still got 1,000 caddies of strength. How can I not beat Zhang He? And then to really drive it home, he shows them. Right there. Twirls his massive saber like a storm, snaps 2 hard bows. Just like that. Then he says he'll bring Yan Yan, another respected old general, as his second in command. Stakes his white head, his life and honor on succeeding. It's incredible defiance.
And you really feel the skepticism in the room, don't you? Because even top generals like Zhao Yun, they actually laugh out loud. They're basically saying, seriously, these 2 old guys, again Zhang He, and the local commanders, Meng Da and Huo Jun, the ones who just got beaten, they're silently mocking the decision too. You can just picture it. But Zhuge Liang, rock solid, just declares, I predict Hanzhong will be taken by these 2. Total certainty.
It's audacious, isn't it? To deliberately stir up all this doubt, rely on generals everyone thinks are past it. What's the real game here? Is it just about tactics? Or is Zhuge Liang playing some kind of 4D chess with everyone's heads, even his own side? It's definitely more than just tactics. Zhuge Liang gets people, especially egos. He's not just looking for fighters, he's setting a trap, a psychological one. First, he lights a fire under Hanzhong, gets maximum commitment right. Second, total surprise for the enemy, who expects 2 70-year-olds leading the charge. And third, he's kind of testing his other commanders, making them confront their own biases about age. He's using the perception of age as a weapon.
Okay, so with that bold prediction just hanging there, Hanzhong and Yan Yan head out. And Hanzhong, true to his word, he immediately goes after Zhang He. He sees this old guy coming, and, well, he can't resist. He mocks his age, basically still fighting old man. Yeah. And Hanzhong hits him with that amazing line. You young punk, mock my age all you want, but the saber in my hand, it's not old. Bam! They fight over 20 rounds. Then Yan Yan, who snuck around using a smaller path, hits Zhang He from behind, forces him into this massive retreat, nearly 90 lives, 30 miles. A huge win right off the bat, vindicates Zhuge Liang.
But Wei isn't giving up, not even close. Cao Hong sees this as serious. He sends reinforcements fast. Xia Husheng and Han Hao. He's got a personal score to settle with Hanzhong, blames him for his brother's death. Yeah. So now it's personal, adding another layer. Interestingly, Zhang He, after getting beaten, he's more careful. He actually warns the newcomers, calls Hanzhong a very heroic old general, admits he's tough despite the age. The enemy's learning, but maybe not fast enough.
Right. And this is exactly where Hanzhong rolls out his Jiobengdeji, the proud soldier strategy. It unfolds so perfectly. Yan Yan, showing his own wisdom, suggests the target, Qiandang Mountain. It's the main supply depot for Cao's whole army in Hanzhong, their lifeline. And Hanzhong, he agrees immediately. Exactly what I was thinking. You see that connection, that shared experience between them, cutting right to the weak spot.
And the execution is just masterful. Hanzhong starts these feigned retreats, day after day, makes it look like he's losing, convincingly. He lets Zhao Shang and Han Hao capture his camps, one after another. They chase him, maybe 20 lives a day, and with every win, their arrogance just balloons. Zhang, he sees this pattern. He knows Hanzhong from before. He warns them, look, this has got to be a trick. He smells it. But Xia Husheng, he's so full of himself now, just dismisses Zhang He. You're too timid. That's why you lose. Shut up and watch us win. Their pride is blinding them, leading them right into it.
Yeah, the deception is so good. Even Liu Bei back in Chengdu gets worried. Genuinely fears for Hanzhong. He sends his adopted son Liu Feng to help out. So Liu Feng rides up, all concerned, and finds Hanzhong just laughing. The old general calmly explains this. This is my proud soldier strategy. Tonight, we take back all the camps and seize their grain, their horses. These camps, we just borrow them so they could store their supplies for us. It's just brilliant, a huge bait and switch.
It really shows the genius, doesn't it? It's not about fighting harder, it's about fighting smarter, manipulating the enemy's psychology, turning their arrogance, their biggest weakness, into the weapon that destroys them. It's pure psychological warfare, using their ego as the trap itself. They didn't just walk into it, they practically built it for Hanzhong. He understood their mindset perfectly.
So the trap is sprung. Middle of the night, second watch, maybe 1 to 3 a.m. Hanzhong leads 5,000 troops. Lightning attack. Xiahou Han Hao, totally complacent. Caught completely flat-footed, their soldiers. Total chaos. The text says, men without armor, horses without saddles. It's a stampede. Huge losses. By dawn, Hanzhong hasn't just retaken 3 camps. He's completely flipped the situation.
Yeah, and you can imagine his troops must be exhausted after that night. Lu Feng even suggests, hey, maybe we should rest. But Hanzhong, no way, no sign of age, spurs his horse on, declares, how do you catch a tiger cub without going into the tiger's den?
Right.
That tells you everything. His relentless drive, he knows you have to keep the pressure on. Momentum is everything in war. Hesitate, and you lose the edge. He's pushing it to the absolute limit.
And that momentum, it's just unstoppable now. Zhang He remaining troops get swept up in the retreat. They abandon their camps, flee towards Hanzhong. Zhang He, Xiahou Han Hao, they regroup with Xiahou Dai at Tiandang Mountain. It's their last stand for protecting supplies in the area, their final hope.
And what happens? The cycle of arrogance repeats. Xiahou Dai is just as cocky as Xiahou Sheng was. He dismisses Hanzhong. Oh, he's brave, sure, but no strategist. Zhang He, who's learned his lesson twice now, warns him again. Be careful, but nope, ignored. Han Hao, still furious, charges out with 3,000 men, seeking that personal revenge. And Hanzhong, one move, decisive, cuts Han Hao down from his horse. Boom, vendetta over, brutal and fast.
And then the coordination. This is the brilliant part. Right as Hanzhong strikes Han Hao, a massive roar goes up from behind Tiandang Mountain, and the whole peak just erupts in flames. It's Yan Yan, our other old general. Hanzhong had placed him there perfectly. He sets fire to all the supplies, the hay, everything. Xiahou Dai rushes to save the stores, panicking, and Yan Yan cuts him down too, with his saber. Just a devastating, perfectly timed 1-2 punch from the old guard.
Right. Commander's dead. Supplies gone up in smoke. Zhang He and Xiahou Sheng, they have absolutely no choice left. They have to abandon Tiandang Mountain, flee towards Dingjun Mountain, which of course becomes the next big target for Liu Bei. The old men delivered. A massive, decisive victory, secured the supplies, crippled the enemy logistics, and proved Zhuge Liang spectacularly right.
Yeah, word gets back to Chengdu fast. Lu Feng carries the news. Liu Bei is ecstatic, celebrates big time, praises Hanzhong and Yan Yan to the heavens. Confirms Zhuge Liang's crazy prediction in front of everyone. This isn't just winning a battle. It's a huge strategic shift at Hanzhong. The power balance just tilted.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, Liu Bei's top advisor, Fa Zheng, steps up. He's got this sharp strategic insight. He argues that Cao Cao actually messed up earlier. After beating Zhang Lu, he didn't fully lock down Hanzhong, left it to generals like Xiao Yuan and Zhang He. Now, Zhang He's defeated. Tiandang Mountain, the main supply base, is gone. Fa Zheng says, this is it. This is the perfect time for Liu Bei to lead a huge army himself and take Hanzhong for good. It's about seizing that moment, that window of opportunity created by the victory.
Right. And Liu Bei listens. He takes Fa Zheng's advice, starts planning to lead 100,000 troops. The goal, take Hanzhong. And the next key target, Dingjun Mountain. Described as the safeguard of Nanzang, the regional capital, absolutely vital. And guess who steps up immediately, still buzzing from the Tiandang victory?
Has to be Hanzhong.
Yep, Hanzhong volunteers instantly, ready to lead the charge again. The man's unstoppable.
But, this is interesting, Zhuge Liang hesitates. Again, after Hanzhong just delivered this massive win, why pump the brakes? He explains that Xiahou Yuan, who defends Dingjun Mountain, he's different. He's not Zhang He. Xiahou Yuan is a master strategist himself, knows his military theory inside out. He's Cao's trusted Western shield. Zhuge Liang basically warns, look, beating Zhang, he was great, but beating Xiahou Yuan, that's a whole other level of difficulty, a much tougher challenge.
But Hanzhong's spirit, we know him by now, totally unyielding. He hits back with another historical reference, talks about the 80-year-old General Lien Po, who was so feared even late in life. Hanzhong says, hey, I'm not even 70. Give me just 3,000 men, and I'll bring you Xiahou Yuan's head personally. Just pure fire and conviction. Zhuge Liang sees this intensity, right? He's absolutely determined, so he agrees, but there's a condition. He insists on sending a supervisor, along with Hanzhong.
The classic Zhejiang fling. The incitement method, or goading. Yeah, it's not just about pushing someone.
Yeah.
It's that psychological nudge challenging their pride, their ability to get this super committed, maybe even extraordinary response. Zhuge Liang isn't just agreeing, he's ensuring Hanzhong goes all out, maximum effort, but also putting someone there to, let's say, channel that energy strategically, manage the fervor.